like to welcome a dear, dear lady, a dear activist, a dear friend. Georja Umano is a journalist and vegan animal advocate. She has met with and written articles about some of the most important elephant advocates working today. She has expanded her knowledge through these interviews while attending conferences and eco-travel in Kenya. Articles written include the David Shelter for the David Shelter Fall of Trust, Elephant Voices, Big Life Foundation, and Patrick and Gita of Wildlife SOS. She was co-organizer and MC of the first two international elephant marches in LA, the Global March for Lions LA. He has also spoke at the Elephant Mountain Run in 2015. She is the past sponsor of 6 orphaned elephants at the SWT. She is working on a collection of poems from the heart about elephants. Her web series she created with her dog, the Georgia Marcella Show, will soon be released. Please help me welcome Georja Umano.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here today in the heat. Give yourselves a big hand. Woo! I admire you. I'm happy to meet you, and thank you for all that you do for elephants and other wildlife. I want to tell you some good news. Would you like to hear some inspiring good news for a change? Okay, I'm going to talk about one person in 1992 in Kenya, just a regular guy who was a safari leader, and he also had enough, saved up his money, and he bought a little lodge in this beautiful part of Kenya. And he noticed when he was there that people were destroying the trees and the animals. This was back in 1992, it was before the poaching crisis. And he realized he lived in the area which was mostly Maasai people, some of the poorest people in the country. And he realized that the reason they were destroying the nature was because of lack of education and lack of money. So he decided he was going to do something about it, and he was going to show them and prove to them that living in harmony with nature was better than not. So he started out with 3 guys who went out into the forest with him, and they removed snares that were there to trap the animals. And today, 2017, he is in charge of an area of land that's 3,000 square miles, which would be, I was trying to figure out how big that was, but that's like a huge area, like through several states from California. And he has over 250 rangers that patrol that area, and then he has many other rangers back at the headquarters where they monitor the rangers with GPS systems and the latest equipment. He has done so much and established so much goodwill through the way he worked that the people there, the Maasai people, they call him a white Maasai. And that's the biggest honor that they can give him. I need to move a little bit out of the sun here. Okay, I want to just tell you some of the things that they accomplished through this organization. It's now called the Big Life Foundation. When he started it, it was the Maasai Preservation Trust. But he, as a creative person, as a determined person with a vision, he partnered with a lot of different people. He helped people with other groups who are doing the same kind of things he was. He raised money, and he put more teachers in the schools for the Maasai children. And as he got more successful, he created new schools, created boarding schools, so the kids didn't get in danger from the wild animals when they were on their way to school. Because he realized that people who live near wildlife, they have to absorb certain burdens, because the wildlife will occasionally encroach, and they will occasionally encroach on farms and on livestock. So he, in the beginning when he started, the Maasai warriors, they have a tradition. To prove that they're men, they spear, and they often spear lions. They spear the lions, especially if they kill the livestock. And in this area that he is, there were only 10 lions left. Today, there's over 200 lions there. He started something that has grown all across the country of Kenya, and I think that his plans should be a blueprint for many African countries. That's why I really want to support him, and I want people to know about Big Life. They now have the predator compensation program. If a farmer gets attacked, his land is attacked, or he loses the livestock, or he loses crops, and he can prove it, and he shows that he was taking good care, he will be compensated. And once they started that compensation program, the lion killing practically stopped. The elephant killing practically stopped, along with the rangers. Now, the poaching crisis came along in early 2000s, and he saw that they needed a lot of rangers. And these rangers are well trained, and they have equipment, and they go out and they monitor, and they know that because he hires people who live right there, their families get involved. And little by little, the whole community has gotten more and more involved in conservation. In 2009, the Maasai elders came to him and they said, "We want to change our culture from a hunting culture to a conservation culture. Will you help us?" He did. Along with his friends, they devised the Maasai Olympics. This has been a fantastic organization where the Maasai warriors, they go through training and workshops, and every workshop is about conservation as well as athleticism. And they compete, and their prizes are scholarships, money, trophies, so they no longer have to kill the lions. It's just been a total game changer for their culture. Let me see, what else was I going to tell you? In 2010, a wildlife photographer, Nick Brandt, who's very famous globally, he was in Kenya every year photographing the wildlife, and he noticed that they were acting different because of the poaching. So he raised a lot of money, and he asked the Amboseli Trust, who can I give this to that will help? They said, give it to Richard. Give it to Big Life Foundation. And he did. And since they've partnered up, then they became Big Life Foundation. And then Richard also partnered up with the Great Plains Conservation, which also is run by the Jouberts, who do a lot of work in southern Africa. And they have fantastic lodges. They took over his lodge. They turned it into a big ecotourism place, kind of expensive, but it's so geared toward ecotourism and toward what's going on that the people who come there, they learn what's going on, and most of them have some money, and they often end up sponsoring a child for education. And just staying there in that lodge, everybody has to pay a conservation fee. So every time somebody stays there, that's $100 a night that goes directly to the community and to Big Life Foundation. So I am just so excited about this organization. I never met an organization who could do so much. And it started with the vision of one person. So now his ideas are being shared throughout Kenya, and more groups want to join the Maasai Olympics, and ecotourism is on the rise, thank goodness. And I just want everybody to know that Kenya is one of the best countries for conservation in Africa, besides Botswana. They're doing more, they have more great groups. Okay, now what can we learn from all this? Okay, one person, one idea, working for others. Oh, did I say Richard Bonham? I'm sorry. His name is Richard Bonham. That's the founder. Okay, I'm going to just wrap up. I just want to say, education. Remember, we have to teach the kids. He would have conservation fairs. Kids would have fun. We can do stuff like that. you know, travel. Always go for ecotourism. Always try to go where you can help animals in some way. And tell your friends too. Thank you so much. And also, there are brochures about Big Life Foundation and envelopes. If you can make even a small donation, a ranger only gets $10 a day as a salary. So $10 a day, you help a ranger out in the field. Thank you so much.